Hi, welcome to the podcast. I'm Krissy, and we are going over some music things. So that's how you came up with the name?
And I think that was what sparked it for me.
It's just perfect.
To achieve what you want.
Is passion. It'll be pretty much every way.
That's a good question.
Hi, welcome to the podcast. I'm Krissy, and I'm here to talk all things music, specifically for musicians who are getting started or want to grow or just want to learn some extra tips that they may not know about. I am a singer slash songwriter slash guitar player slash music producer. Of course, this is all right now as a hobby, and I'm just getting started. I'm just putting my music out there. So my goal here with this podcast is to share some insights, my ideas, my strategies, and the steps I'm taking to try to build something and grow something for myself in music. Now, I know this sounds like it could be a complex process to try and start a career in music or try to put music out there or try to just build a brand, right? But there are actually a lot of careers within the field of music. It's not just becoming a rock star. It's not just having a band and trying to tour the world. There are a lot of jobs within the industry, whether that's teaching music at a school, tutoring students who are learning instruments, or vocal coaches, or there are journalists who cover music in their job. You have musicals that require actors who can sing. And you have commercials and advertising that they need jingle writers. They need music to catch the viewer's attention, right? So there's kind of a variety. Then you have indie artists who are putting out their original music on their own, and some can make money from those streaming platforms. You have cover bands that get decent gigs. You have performers at theme parks and other events. Then you have the composers who are essentially creating the melody that you hear in a song. They come up with the idea of the song and, come up with that for film, for TV shows, for commercials. So kind of have a variety. And then, a lot of things that would require music or background music or, tracks. When you call a company and then you're waiting for a representative, they have music, right? So there's all kinds of placements for business and for entertainment. And then you have a whole freelance community. You have writers, songwriters who provide lyrics for other producers. So you have vocalists who will provide the vocals. And then you have these websites where, they can meet and they can help each other. And you have producers who are mixing and mastering and, polishing up the song. So the point is, there are actually a lot of careers you can make in music. There are a lot of things that you can do to if you want to pursue music, there are a lot of roles out there. There are a lot of, if you want to do something part-time, if you want to do something freelance, you can do just as a hobby, There are a lot of options if that's something you really want to do. So why am I starting a podcast about music and what is the purpose really? Well, for one, I am very passionate about music. I have always been passionate about music. I love singing. I love songwriting. And I like a lot of genres of music. I kind of lean into more rock and folk type of styles. I play acoustic guitar, but I love rock and roll, as you can tell from my sign. And so, I love music, but also my career has been more on the editorial side. I have a degree in communication, and I have worked in several writing and editing roles and pretty much in the journalism field. And I have focused a lot of my work in marketing. And recently I got certified in social media marketing, and I've always kind of worked in different aspects of marketing. And music, while it is a whole different industry and it's a bit different from just business marketing, there are a lot of things, and I'm relying on those marketing skills that I've learned in my jobs to try and help me to grow my music and help me to, teach, I guess, what I have been learning and all the research I have done. And I've also worked on the education side where I have written a lot of lessons, and I've also tutored a lot of students on different subjects and one-on-one. So I have that as well, and I've taught some music theory here and there with some lessons and some articles. And so, yeah, I've been able to do a lot of research, and I just want to kind of on here, I want to share what I'm doing. Maybe it can help out, and maybe I can, have share some insights and maybe connect with other people who are doing the same thing. Maybe they're trying the same thing. I don't have any specific steps as to what I'm doing with my music. I am just going one step at a time. I'm doing research, and I am taking it one step. I am focusing on social media. I have copyrighted my original songs already, and my step right now is to get my original music out there. I've written a lot of songs. I've also made a lot of covers. I'm always practicing, singing, playing, and I know how to use software also for producing the music. I personally use Ableton, and that's what I prefer. That's what I like. And yeah, so that's kind of been my experience, and now I am trying to just share what I am doing step by step, and maybe it can help make the process a little easier for other musicians who are doing the same thing, or maybe you can learn a couple tips here and there, give you some insight. I just want to talk about what has worked for me and what has worked so far. Some of my friends are also in music as well. I know a lot of indie artists, and they're also putting out their music for the first time, and so I would like to connect with them, get their perspectives, and we can talk about the results that they're getting from the work that they're putting into it, and share those insights and kind of see different perspectives from different genres of music and different types of singers and different types of musicians, and kind of talk about what they're doing. Nowadays, it's a lot easier. Back then, if you wanted to do music, you would have to first get in a studio, and you would have to record a demo, and that would cost money, and that would cost time, and you would have to find a studio to even have your music recorded and heard. And nowadays you have so many software programs where you can create it on your own. You can create it on your own computer. It's so accessible nowadays, and technology helps you to even get it out there with social media, with some websites, with just anything online that it can help you grow. So there's little things about the music industry. Some of it I already know, and some of it I am, learning as I research. But there's a lot you can do. You can get connections. There's a lot of websites to connect with other musicians. There are software programs that can help you, with video editing, with different things. And so I just want to discuss what I'm doing, discuss music in general, talk about musicians who have made it in different ways. Not everybody has the same journey, and not everybody takes the same path, because everybody has different skills and everybody has different opportunities given to them. So just to get an idea of different ways that, you can get into the music industry, or you can just get yourself out there to try. A lot of singers have made it from songwriting first. Some have made it from Broadway, from starting out with, commercials and acting and advertising. So yeah, I'd like to look at their journeys and talk about different musicians. And this would be music in different genres. So for me, I like all types of music. I love all genres. So yeah, this would be pretty much everything. And like I said, I know a lot of indie artists, and everybody's kind of doing their own thing in different ways and different genres and different styles. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how different journeys unfold and how different genres of music and what they do to get out there, because there are a lot of different strategies. But yeah, so right now what I want to share is just kind of one step at a time, research, talk about the research I'm doing, talk about what I'm doing for the week. I do covers, and then I am doing a few other things to try and grow, mostly on social media. I'm on Instagram and I am on YouTube right now. So yeah, I would like to talk week by week, talk about what did I work on this week and what are the results from that. How did it perform on social media? What's the algorithm? Are there any changes? What am I noticing in trends? That kind of thing. I would like to share the insights. And hopefully get some insights from others as well. And then talk about like what else I'm doing. Who am I collaborating with? What am I working on? I do a lot of collaborations with other musicians, other typically playing rock, but also some pop and some maybe folk and just other genres. But yeah, I do collaborations with other musicians, and you can talk about like what we worked on and what were the results of it and like what else are we working on, and kind of the impact on algorithms specifically for social media. So if you are a musician, you want to learn how to become a musician, if you want to learn how to get started, how to grow, everything that I'm talking about in here as far as growing on social media, I've done this organically, which means that I am not paying for ads. I'm not paying for any placements. I specifically grew my social media from nothing. I just started it a few months ago, and everything I've grown has been just on my own, just quality content, just collaborations, and making connections with other musicians. So yeah, everything has been just this is an example of what you can do if you don't have the budget to spend on advertising or, to promote yourself with your music. There are a lot of things that you can grow organically and still get some results and make a difference. So yeah, if you want to learn how to get started, if you want to just learn tips, if you're a musician, just want some tips, maybe you didn't know about certain websites or some apps or trends on social media that you may not be aware of. Or if you're just interested in music in general, I want to talk about a lot of different things about music. And if you're someone who likes to support indie artists, I will be highlighting a lot of indie artists on here, talk about what they're doing and their music and highlight their new music that they're putting out. And I'll have a lot of connections on here.
I mean, you just think about these titles like cool. They are cool. They
Yeah.
tells a story, which is correct. But my very first composition of these three wasn't yesterday, ieri, but oggi sono qui. That sono qui, which translate in I'm here, it's a fun fact that basically I couldn't find the file on my computer.
Oh my gosh.
So I renamed that file on I'm here. But after reading that, I was thinking, well, that could work.
So that's how you came up with the name.
Yeah.
So how do you balance
So
everything? Like for people who are like, working and think they can't be a musician because it's too much. How do you
yeah,
balance all that?
I'm kinda exhausted. I'm not gonna hide it.
Kinda.
I'm kinda.
So for musicians who are starting off, like what would be your advice of them? How would you describe like how I know it's different for everybody and there's different genres and different levels and everybody has for different instruments. You play a ton of instruments, but some of us play one or two or so I think you're able to find your sound with that. But for someone who's starting off, let's say they're a guitar player, how would they find their sound if they want to start writing songs?
That's a good question. Well, if you have a very clear vision, if you can imagine what you want crystal clear in your mind.
I want to talk about you and you put out a new music video recently. It's called In My World, and it's great. It's great. You went all out for this. A lot of musicians make quick videos, simple things of here and there at this place, and you went all out with costumes, with the scenery, with editing. And
Yeah.
so tell us a little bit about that song and like the work, the effort you put into that.
This, I have to say, this put me really on the edge of my sanity.
Okay.
This,
I thought you were gonna say seat, edge of my seat, but no.
of my sanity.
Okay.
This was a lot of work. This was a lot of work.
Yeah, interesting story with your name, and I think that's really cool for musicians who are, getting started and you're trying to find a name. If you can find anything that's like similar to your name, that would be, find a little bit of a pun or a little
Yeah.
bit of something similar. Yours goes so well with the fact that you play piano.
know.
Yeah, it's just perfect. I've always
Like
thought
an
your name.
anagram, it's amazing.
Yeah, I've always thought your name was so perfect.
Hear a good song, you like it, you go through and that sort of thing. So that's what I want to do. I don't like obviously sticking with one particular genre. I do like to go
Right.
across different ones because obviously at a certain time someone's going to want to hear a certain song, and I'd love to be there for it when I write it and someone needs it.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with that because, me, I play acoustic guitar, but I really love rock and roll as well. I love that classic rock. So I kind of go in between, the
That's
folk
amazing.
stuff and then like the rock stuff when I collab, So yeah, I totally understand and I'm the same way. I like a lot of different types of music. And then of course the EDM, that's up there too. I love that kind of sound.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And sometimes, like, I just want, instead of going with one option, I want to go with, like, both instead of one. And I just can't choose one. I want to go, like, 2 lanes. Yeah.
Yeah, it applies to everything, literally.
The first time I heard Metallica, I was like, wow, I really want to do that. And I think that was what sparked it for me. I had another friend of mine who played cello, and she kind of encouraged me to play music. But again, it goes back to the whole, well, that kind of thing costs money, and we don't have money.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it wasn't until I was about 24 when I got my first bass. I started learning on my own through YouTube and tab sites.
Like a lot of musicians are self-taught and it's possible. You don't have to like take some expensive lessons or even buy that much material nowadays with, having, like you said, YouTube and technology, a lot of free apps and stuff that help you learn. So, what advice do you have for musicians that feel like that's an obstacle?
Well, I know that there are a lot of resources out there for free that will at least take you in the right direction. There's a lot of tabs out there available. YouTube is just chock full of them now.
Also, any other musicians, if you want to connect on here and share your story, be great to hear from you. If you want to follow along, please follow along, and I'll have weekly episodes. We'll discuss marketing and music. We'll discuss indie artists, tips for musicians, stories about musicians, and this will all be in different genres of music. So pretty much everything. So let me know if you have suggestions or want to share your story. So that's pretty much my intro for this podcast. Hope to connect with you and hopefully you'll tune in. So thank you so much if you've listened to this whole episode. And yeah, come back and check out more episodes. Thanks for tuning in.